Hello everyone and welcome to topic 2. And this week we will cover the interaction of demand and supply and quantitative demand and supply analysis. So what is demand? Demand is an economic principle indicating a consumer's desire to purchase a good or a service. Additionally, demand considers a consumer's willingness to pay the price for that good or service. So economists rely on demand schedules to reveal the relationship between product price and the quantity of the product demanded by the customer. Comparatively, the demand curve is the curve that illustrates the overall relationship between product price and the quantity of the product demanded by the customer. So the demand schedule and demand curve allow economists to examine the overall relationship between product price and quantity demanded. Now remember, your demand schedule is used to create a demand curve. How? Well, when each row of the demand schedule shows price point and quantity demanded, it is that data we use to coordinate the plot on the demand curve graph. Now the law of demand suggests that there is an inverse relationship between product price and quantity demanded. Now this means that as price goes down, the quantity customers buy will increase. So be sure to read chapter 3 to better understand the demand side of the market. And there are 3 reasons why the demand curve is downward sloping and explains the law of demand. And those reasons are substitution effect, the income effect, and the law of diminishing marginal utility. The substitution effect states that changes in the price will motivate consumers to buy relatively cheaper substitutes. So dropping the price of your goods or service will compel the consumer to move away from the more expensive product line. Now remember, this can happen in the opposite direction as well. Next, there is the income effect. This suggests that changes in price affect the purchasing power of the consumer's income. So as the price goes down, the consumer will purchase more of that product. Therefore, the amount you can purchase with each dollar increases. And also remember, just like the substitution effect, this can work in the opposite direction as well. And finally, we have the law of diminishing marginal utility. Therefore, as you continue to consume a given product, you will eventually get less satisfaction from each unit you consume. Now, this concept explains the law of demand and the shape of the demand curve. However, if anything other than price changes, it will actually shift the demand curve. So here's an example. Let's say a study comes out and suggests that your company's milk product is less healthy. Well, consumers may purchase less of your milk product and seek other milk alternatives. Now, these results will cause your demand curve to shift to the left. So at every price point, the consumer will buy less of your product, and this is known as a decrease in demand. Now, the opposite is a shift to the right, and this is known as an increase in demand. Now this means that the consumer wants to buy more as the price decreases. And there are 5 shifters that cause changes in demand. First, you have the number of consumers. So the more a buyer learns about the product, the more or less they may consume of that product. We have the price of related goods. Think back to the milk example. The price of the substitute will cause the demand curve to shift to the left or to the right. Third, we have income, and income depends on normal goods and inferior goods. Normal good is when income and demand are directly related. So an increase in income causes an increase in demand, or a decrease in income will cause a decrease in demand. Now an inferior good is when income and demand are inversely related. So remember, whenever you read or hear a question about income, learn if it is a normal good or an inferior good. Also, product taste and consumer preferences can also create left or right shifts in the demand curve. The 5th shifter is expectations, and this suggests that a consumer who thinks the price of a product will increase tomorrow, they are likely to buy more today. Or if a consumer believes the price will decrease tomorrow, they are likely to buy less today. Now, there are differences in change in quantity and change in demand. So movement along a demand curve is a change in quantity of demand. So as the price goes down, the quantity goes up. However, if the price stays the same, but the consumer decides to buy more or less, this is a change in demand. Why? Because one of the 5 shifters caused it to move to the left or right of the demand curve. So the key to remember in this section, decreasing product price does not increase demand. The demand stays the same, but the quantity demanded will increase. Next, we will cover the law of supply. Now, the law of supply is a microeconomic principle which states when all other factors are equal, as the price of a good or service increases, the quantity of that good or service offered will increase, and vice versa. Therefore, the law suggests that as the price of an item goes up, suppliers will attempt to maximize those profits by increasing the number of goods or services for sale. However, the lower the price, the lower the supply. So here's an example. Let's say a car company sets the sale price for $30,000 and produces 4,000 automobiles. If the car company increases the sale price to $35,000, that same company will manufacture 5,000 automobiles. Therefore, the higher price prompts the car company to manufacture more cars. So the law of supply is a theoretical concept, and in the real world, variables never remain constant. Therefore, factors other than price can affect the supply, such as price of similar goods or services, availability of that good or service, and the price of raw materials. Therefore, the quantity of the supply can change due to external factors other than the change in price. So your objectives for this week is to compare and contrast the variables affecting supply and demand, and then you're going to analyze supply and demand fluctuations. And to meet the objectives for this week, be sure to read the study materials, answer each discussion question, provide at least 3 replies to the discussion question form to other students in the class, and complete the case study assignment using the grading rubric. And if you have any questions, my contact information and office hours are posted in this week's welcome message and is located in the discussion forum. Let's have a fun and amazing time, and I will see each of you online. This is Dr. Fuller, and have a blessed day.